Honorable Men Discord. Let's talk Bam's 83-point game. Let's talk about it.
How you see yourself is how you perceived. I see a man strong, gifted, head strapping, never down on his knees, begging. Gotta make a way, even in my darkest hour. Say the odds against me was new. I would never cower.
As always, welcome back to another episode. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tell a friend to tell a friend. I drop episodes daily at 5 p.m. Eastern time. So let's get straight to it. I want everyone to jump in the comments and get it all out of your system. Let me know how upset you are, especially those who are Kobe Bryant fans. Let me know how upset you are at the fact that Bam scored 83 points. And they say that 40 plus points, 40 out of those 83, 40 plus points were from the free throw line. All right. Now, I'm a Michael Jordan fan. I respect what Kobe Bryant did on the court. I'm not taking this away from Kobe Bryant. May he rest in peace. But this is a good conversation, all right? And I'm going to play the things I have queued up. I have 4 things queued up. One is Bam himself, then the coach. I believe I have Dwayne Wade, and then I have a gentleman speaking on how it's outrageous that people are bashing him for scoring 83 points. Now, I briefly had this conversation with my cousin, who's a Kobe Bryant fan, and I could tell by his tone that he couldn't stand the fact that this happened. The first time I mentioned it to him, he tried to brush it off because he didn't even want to hear it. But I'll be honest with you, there were records that Michael Jordan set that when Kobe Bryant passed it, I wasn't happy myself. But that's the nature of the game. There's always going to be someone to come after you. You set a bar, that person has the bar to look at, and now they can aim towards it and surpass you in some fashion. That's sports. Your record is never going to just live forever. But with that being said, the way in which Bam scored the 83 points is really pissing people off. Now, I'll be honest with you, I think people would have been pissed off regardless of how he scored it. If he would have scored it and it wasn't so much about 40 plus free throws, they would have found a reason to say they don't like that he did it. My thought on this is, regardless how you feel about it, this is good for the Miami Heat. This is good for Bam as an individual. He made it to the NBA. Can he celebrate an accomplishment? This is something I told my cousin, and I know he wasn't trying to hear it, but I told him, listen, either way, even if he did 43 throws and people are feeling like, oh, the league is rigged. Listen, I think all sports is rigged to some degree. That's a whole nother subject, and I'm not even going to get into it on this one because it will just easily be like an hour video. But with that being said, he still had to make it. He had to make those free throws. All right. My cousin said, oh, free throws aren't hard. Well, there's some players that can't make free throws. Just because he made 43 throws, how many of those free throws did he miss? He still has to make it. Now, is it easier than scoring with a defender in front of you? Absolutely. It's easier than a defender standing in front of you, but he still made it. It's still within the perimeter, the guidelines of the game. All right, we don't have to like it, but then change the guidelines of the game. All right, make the free throw further back. Would you respect it then? If you were shooting free throws from the 3-point line and made it, would you say, oh, okay? Or are you just upset at the fact that those are points with no defender in front of him? See, these are different talking points we need to discuss. But all in all, at the end of the day, the irony in all of this is I had told my cousin a long time ago, and this is not me bashing my cousin. I have to put him in there because these are conversations we had outside of this channel. I told him personally, the basketball that I watched in the 90s to what I see now, I didn't like the direction it was going in. And he would actually advocate for this type of basketball. He's like, they're bigger, they're stronger, they're faster. Most of these guys are taller. You know, back then the competition wasn't as vast as it is now. And I disagree with him. I'm seeing some amazing stuff when I put basketball on nowadays. And obviously I don't watch, well, not obviously, I don't watch basketball like I used to because I'm a working man and I have a lot of things going, a lot of this channel and other things. So I don't watch basketball like I used to when I was a teenager. But with that being said, when I do watch basketball, I'm not that impressed because I just don't feel like there's a consistency throughout with all the players as far as the effort when it particularly comes to defense. We know everyone loves to score. Everybody loves to put buckets up. Everyone wants to look up and watch their stats. But I don't see the grit that I saw in the 90s. Call me an old head. Well, I am an old head, and I'm proud of it. But I don't see the same grit. Now, he would advocate for this type of basketball. And I would say, I don't agree that today's basketball is better than what I saw in the 90s. And another thing is, I used to complain to him about the fact that, yes, I loved seeing what Steph Curry brought to the table in the league, but Steph Curry is to blame for everybody wanting to shoot from like the half court. That is disgusting in basketball. And you might be saying, all right, you're doing too much talking. Where are you going with this? If you're upset with Bam making 83 points, then you should be upset when you see someone well over 6'5" shooting half-court shots. First of all, forget that. Forget the height that I just mentioned. Anyone shooting that far from the three-point line, you should be upset at that type of basketball because you don't need to. There's a line for a reason. Now, it's great to know that you have range and your arms are strong enough to get the shot up, but there should be no reason why in a game you're popping up. You're taking off from the half court. There's no reason. What kind of basketball is that? In my time, had someone been shooting from that far, the coach would have sat him down for the rest of the game. What are you doing? We don't even care if you can make it. It's why you shooting that far when you don't need to. There's a reason why there's a line. And I think if we're going to bash Bam, let's take a whole look at what's going wrong in the NBA. We can go with the dunk contest. Again, I can make this an hour-long episode, but let me hear from you all first on this, and then I'll consider making a whole nother episode about all the things that I feel has gone wrong in the NBA. But let me get to Bam and the other stuff I have queued up, and we'll talk about it further.
In my shoes, and you have, first of all, y'all are blaming me. You should be blaming the head coach. Get that first. I was not the one letting me go one-on-one the whole game until I had 70, then you started to send a double. At that point, I got 70 with 9 minutes left to go in the game. You think I'm not going for it? And that's the thing that's crazy when they talk about the unethical part of the basketball. I'm like, if I have 70 with 9 minutes to go, who would just be like, coach, just take me out? Yeah, right. Anybody in my shoes with 9 minutes left? Okay. A minute? All right. 9? Yeah, I'm going for it. If you're in my
So interesting, I saw this person in the comments say, a player having to defend themselves for scoring 83 in a professional basketball game is ridiculous. And I'm going to agree with that. The world doesn't have to like it, but Bam, enjoy your moment, as you should. Enjoy your moment as you should. Because if I scored 83 in an NBA game, first of all, if I made it to the NBA, that's something to celebrate. But scoring 83 points in a game, yeah, I'm going for it. If I had 70 points, I agree with him. If I had 70 points, you think I'm stopping? No. I'm greedy like that. I would. And you could disagree with me saying that. That's fine, but I would have gone for it too. This is Dwayne Wade speaking on, apparently someone had asked him a question trying to stir the pot at the wrong time. When Bam was celebrating 83 points, I guess there was not a commentator. There was how am I losing the name of it? There was a reporter. There was a reporter who probably asked him about something that Dwayne Wade had said in the past about the, I guess, Miami Heat not having the same aura around the team, the team lost its luster, all right? And I guess the commentator had asked Bam that during his moment, and Dwayne Wade is speaking on it in this video about the fact that it was the wrong time and that guy was trying to cause problems between the organization, between the past, which is Dwayne Wade, the retired Miami Heat player, and Bam. So let's get into that.
If the Miami Heat don't want me to have standards on the players, that's on them. I will have it. I will always have a standard for the organization, whether I'm a part of the organization, whether I'm allowed in the doors, whether I'm never allowed in the doors, because I've gave so much to the organization. I have a lot less millions in my account for the organization. I have a lot less stats on the board because I gave up what was individual for what was pushed on us as a standard, as a culture, and what we about. And so if we about that, then I'm going to hold us to that standard. And so my standard isn't play in. That's not my standard. I understand a year or two. I don't understand being in there too long. That's not my standard. That may be somebody else's standard. And so if y'all want me to always, and the thing I don't like about that question by Anthony is, first of all, wrong time to bring that up. You bring that up at any other time. Don't bring that up in the midst of someone's moment. Don't make someone else's moment, because Bam is going to respond that way. And he should have responded that way, right? That's his moment. You talk about him. You talk about where he came from. You talk about 76 Church Lane. You don't talk about some coming up about a former player saying the buzz in the city is not there. You're looking for something. And I have a good relationship with Anthony. And I will address this with him like this, because this is my form of communication. Anthony, you were looking for something in a moment that was about Bam and about the Miami Heat. Now, we can come back later and talk about the buzz. Do you feel the buzz today? Did they get mad that I said that? And you feel that the performance? Then I'm doing my job. And if the Miami Heat don't...
I agree with him. Wrong time to talk about the lack of the buzz for the organization when Bam was celebrating his 83-point accomplishment. Let's get into the coach.
I apologize to absolutely no one. Period. And going into the game, it's a Tuesday night game against a team where they're not playing for anything, where their organization is trying to lose. We've already lost a game, in that kind of situation. We have players that are sitting out, and I spoke to Bam about, I want, as our best player and team captain, for him to be locked in and ready. And he sure was. I apologize to absolutely no.
Listen, stand your ground. He made a decision, and that's that. So this person put, they salty, he broke Kobe record. He put, I just don't get why people are so mad. Because people are so mad because they're invested in the people, the superstars that they are a fan of. And I understand that anger. Trust me, Kobe fans, I understand your anger, your disgust, because at the time when Michael Jordan was playing, I had that same anger and disgust. But as you get older, you have to get over it. We're fans of the way these men played on the court, but we have no stake in this, all right? Regardless how you feel about it, the NBA is going to operate the way the NBA wants to operate. The coaches are going to make calls the way they see fit. You see, Spoelstra doesn't apologize. It's not in our hands. We're spectators. We got to remember we're spectators. I know it's easier said than done because our emotions get caught up in it. For those of you that are Kobe fans, that was your hero, and it's like it's like salt on a wound. You lost him tragically. May he rest in peace. And then like his moments of his accomplishments on the court is fading away by Bam passing him. But that doesn't take away from his championships. It doesn't take away from who he was as a man off the court to his family, his daughters, his friends. So you got to find a way to just let it go. What's done is done. The NBA is not going to reverse this. They're not going to look into it and change it. It's done. It's just the nature of sports. I'm going to get into this final video, and then I'm just going to wrap this up.
Be on the internet anymore. When we get to a point in American sports where somebody scores 83 points in an NBA game and we don't go, wow, that's cool, we have lost the plot. We have lost everything. I don't understand a world where all of a sudden people have forgotten how to enjoy sports accomplishments, enjoy sports things without being a protector of the sacred past, without having to step up and say, well, Kobe did this, well, Michael did that. Who cares? Also, the fourth quarter was crazy last night. The Heat absolutely, after he had 62 points in the first three quarters, let me say that again. After he had 62 points in the first three quarters, the Heat made a collective decision to do whatever they had to do to get him more points. They did that as a team. And you can say that's unethical. You can say it's whatever. But what you can't say is it hasn't happened before. It happened in the Wilt Chamberlain game. It has happened time and time again in this sport. In the last game of the 1994 regular season, I believe, David Robinson needed to win the scoring title. His team helped him score 71 points when he shot 48 times. This has happened forever in basketball. So to act like this generation is now unethical and this generation is doing something the other generations haven't, you're lying. Kobe Bryant had 81 points and 2 assists the night he scored. This has been happening forever. Celebrate it. 83 points is crazy. Last night was a crazy thing that happened, and it doesn't have to be anything more than that. I don't want to be on.
I agree. And you know what? The funny thing is the way I'm able to get over my emotions when it comes to records and things like that is, again, as a grown man, I tell myself, listen, I have no stake in this. These players are well off. Michael Jordan has, billions of dollars. He has his private jet. He has his brand. He's fine. All right. Michael Jordan himself is not tossing and turning at night over Kobe passing him in certain records, LeBron passing him in certain records. So why am I getting so upset about certain things like that when it happens? And that's just my advice to those of you that are Kobe fans that are upset by Bam passing. I know it's still fresh, it's still early, we're still within a few days off of him breaking that record, but listen, our priority needs to be our family. If we don't have families, our priority should be on where we're trying to go in life, our finances and things of that nature. Whatever is affecting us directly, that should be our priority. Yes, the sports, I love sports. I'm sure you all love sports as well, but at the end of the day, it's a leisure thing that we take part in. We shouldn't be that invested in it when these players are making millions of dollars. It doesn't matter. We could yell at the TV. I've seen TikTok videos or videos on Instagram, people breaking TVs over a sports game. It's like, we got to do better, fellas. We really do. I get it. It's easier said than done sometimes, but we got to do better. I mean, salute to Bam. Congratulations on your 83 points. And hopefully that turns around the buzz and the energy in Miami for the Miami franchise, and hopefully the players start to pick it up for their sake. If they're trying to win. I don't even know what their record is. I'm not gonna sit here and act as though I know their record, but all in all, it was a great accomplishment for Bam. Maybe that'll inspire other teammates or other people in the league to play harder and to do their best, But that's my thoughts on this. What is your thoughts on this? How do you feel about this? And as always, I appreciate everyone for tuning in. If you haven't already, on your way out, hit that like button. It costs you nothing. Hit that subscribe button. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. I drop episodes daily at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And as always, stay honorable.